My name is David Tench, and what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to set up an email sequence for a SaaS solution. I'm going to just show you how to do the lead generation to conversion, how you actually create a customer via email. And this is for a SaaS solution. If you are interested in this, if you look in the comments, there should be a link in the comments to a free 5-day course that I do solely on email marketing. It basically shows you how to set up, because you obviously, if you're doing SaaS solutions, you don't just have one email sequence, you have quite a few of them, but it will show you how to do all of those. And the link is in the comments. So let's go on. Right, what I want you to do is don't start knocking out any emails first of all. Okay, that is the main thing that you need to do first of all. Don't even open up your text editor to try and start typing in some content or something like that. What you have to do first of all, you have to do what is called persona research, and what you need to do is you need to create a survey, and the survey is created in two sets of questions. You have quantitative questions, which basically they're going to assess the demographics of your customers. So you end up getting a figure at this, a fixed answer. So, what is your job title, where are you located, etc. You then have qualitative research, and these are basically questions where you have to do these really in a one-on-one interview, and these are where people will say their point of view, and they will give you their opinion on something. And what you then do is you then refine these questions and you create personas from them. I want to go through first of all. What we'll do is we'll have a look at, I've done this demo for a SaaS sales CRM, which I have. This is an actual real thing. I've taken a few little bits out, because it was a little bit too much for the whole of the just to do this. But I mean, you should get the general idea in here. I'm going to go through the questions, and I'm then going to sit there and say why we ask these questions. First of all, what you've really got to understand is that with B2B sales, you're selling into a procurement process. Okay, and usually what has happened is someone at the company has realised they have a problem, and that's usually the end user. And they've then been told, okay, go out and find a solution to solve this problem. You then, when it comes to the buying of it, all the stakeholders who are going to be responsible for the decision will then come in and have a look at the product, right? And this is very important that when this happens, you start registering the people on your site. When you have, can we have a demo, whatever, you register them and you actually tag them as they come through by their job title, so you can then start a sequence which will sell to them. And the whole idea of this is you're going to send different sequences to different people with different job titles, and this will help in your sales conversion ratios massively. You don't send the same sequence to each persona. So the first question we ask is, what is your job title? And basically this questionnaire was sent to all people who had signed up for a demo of a sales SaaS solution, though, because what we're trying to do is find out who signed up to the demo, so we can then find out how we target them. We then have, where are you located? This is a very, very important question. Are you an end user? Right? When you start asking this of the people who signed up for the demo on the SaaS solution, you'll start actually finding loads of them aren't actually end users. What they did was they signed up to the demo solely so that they could be part of the sales process. They could have a look at it. And this is why you create tailor-made email sequences for each job title, because various job titles will sign up. They're not end users, but you have got to market the product to them so that then when it comes down for a decision to be made in the company, you've sold them into it as well. Do you kind of see what I mean? And this is really important. So when you sit there and say, are you an end user? You then ask, are you the final decision maker? And what you typically find is, are you the final decision maker? the end user is not the final decision maker. The end user is someone at the company who's been asked to bring it in, and the end user is usually the CEO or whatever, depending on the size of the company, and they're the decision maker, the final decision maker. Even though the end user will be involved in the decision, they are not the decision maker. We then ask the question: how often will you use this platform? Where will you use this platform? And what features do you use? Features used, prior knowledge. Okay, this is just to try and get the list out right. Now, we then move over to, this is really, really important for your marketing. What problems does our platform solve for you? Solely because when you market to someone, what you've got to do is you've got to show that you can solve their problems and they'll buy from you. And the moment you show them that, and you're able to show all of their problems that they have, bang, and that you can solve them, you will be able to sell. What objections were raised during the buying process? Now you want to understand this, because when you sell to them and you're in the sales process, you want to handle the objections before the person raises them. Okay? What were the first 5 things you learned how to use? Highly important, because what you've got to do is you've got to get the person to minimum operator level before they will buy. Okay? And so what you do is during the email sequence, you are going to incentivize them to perform the actions on your platform that will get them to minimum operator level. So then when it comes down to them making a decision in the company, and they've got 5 pieces of software in front of them, you sit there and say, the person that you've got there as to minimum operator level will be there well, I can use this piece of software. And then they will then buy off you. Do you see what I mean? But you've got to understand the first 5 things that your previous clients have learned, because you are then going to teach your new clients those things, and you're just going to focus on those things. It's obvious those first 5 things are the most important that your client base is interested in. Okay, so what features do you want added? That's for future use. How did you learn how to use the platform? Very important, because you need to have a good sales with it. You need to have good tutorials within there, but also you don't. Some people go and learn other ways via YouTube, stuff like that. You really need to have. You need to be the one kind of controlling that. Did anyone influence your decision during the buying process? Very important, because you want to see if there are influencers out there who you can get selling your stuff. When did you become aware you needed a new SaaS? How often are you getting the system set up? You want to see if that's the independent people helping, or if you're going to be doing it. What type of ongoing customer support do you need? Then what you do, I don't know if you actually understand how to create personas, but you basically collate all of these. You collate the problems, and you collate the job titles, and you will end up with personas like this. This is Sam, the salesperson. This is Tom, the technical, Carla, the CEO, and Fred, the CFO. And these are the 4 people most likely to sign up for a demo, right? So you have department sales, business development, end user, yes, decision maker, he's involved, problem solved, sales, CRM, usage, daily, where office, you can see where he's using it, sales based, prior knowledge, minimal, right? Okay, so because here's Tom the technical. So now on those last questions that we asked, what features do you use? The 2 daily users, okay, so Tom technical, he's an end user, right? But his end user he's using the API, because basically he is the technical developer who is going to integrate this system with the back office for the company, right? So even though they're end users, the features that they use are different. And this is very, very important when creating the email sequence, because basically we have to target them different information to get them to buy at the end of it. You're going to see what I mean there. You know, it's a different marketing message that we're going to send to the two of them. So we then move on to Carla, the CEO. Now she signed up for a demo as well. She is not an end user, but she is the end decision maker. So you have got to sell to her. There's no problem solved for her. There's no usage. She doesn't use it. Whatever. You are still selling to her. She is the end user. She signed up for a demo to see where her money is going to be spent. You have Fred, the CFO. He is not an end user either. He is involved within the decision maker and problem solved within budget. Features used. He's going to go in and he's going to pay the bill. Do you see what I mean? And you are going to target all of these people with different email sequences. So what we have to do is we have to look at the content required, right? And what we do is we create a little sheet like a little spreadsheet like this, and we split the content up. So for Sam, the salesperson, we have got to show Sam knowledge that it solves the problems. If there's any, we show little technical little things in there, so we can show how we're going to solve the problem. We then start giving him some value content, which could be case studies showing how to sell, stuff like this. We then, from the question, what were the first 5 features that you learned how to use? We then know that we've got to create 5 or so assets. This could be a video, this could be, you know, a step-by-step guide, something like this, that we are going to email to him, right? So that he will then go and perform the action on the platform. Can you see that? So we will create a video. So say like the action is, created. So say like on the what are the first 5 things, right, that the person, the other people selected to use, right? The other people, say they sat and said, well, the first thing I learned was how to set a customer up in the admin area, right? So video showing how to set up a customer in the admin area, right? And what you would then do is you would sit there and say, send a video through saying, here is a video showing you how to do customer admin. Okay, so say what is the next one? Say you've got in the sales CRM, there's a pipeline view. And when the previous customers sat there and said in the top, the first 5 things that they'd learned was how to move a client down the pipeline. Can you see? Like, and you basically would create assets for all of these actions. Because the actions, when you think like, when you go and buy a car, the car salesperson knows that if they get you in there, they get you to go for a test drive, that is an action that is part of the sales sequence. And when you are doing SaaS solutions, you have got to look at this. This is an action that is part of the sales process. Do you see what I mean? So you could then have changed status lead to client. Can you see what I mean? And you create the assets. So for a knowledge, the problem, is this a sales solution? Case study of previous client. You also have social proof. So video testimony of Right, and this is very, very important. You also need future, because you want to show, hey, in the future, this is where you'll be with our product. Okay, so video showing where they future if they buy. I put in KYC and AML here. KYC is know your customer. AML is anti-money laundering, because some people, you will need to do that. You'll need to get them credit checked. Right. Now, this is very, very important, because with Tom the Technical, Tom, he doesn't care less about showing how to set up customer in the admin area. He doesn't care less about moving a client down the pipeline. So what he is looking for is something to do with the API that he's going to integrate it with. So action, done, an API, cool. Right, so he could have done, and you would have a video showing API, cool. Then have another one, video showing do you see what I mean? Because what you're going to do, the moment they come in to the site, they get tagged and they get added to a different sequence. Okay? With Carla, you're still selling to her. She's not an end user, but it's her company. And with CEOs, just target them case studies of massive companies that made loads from your SaaS. Like, you keep selling her where she's going to be. CEOs love that. Trust me on this. But she's also going to have to get credit checked, because basically she will be the one who is the end user. So with her and with Fred, you have to send over details, KYC check, and he will probably have to help with it as well. Can you see? Now we can actually see the content that we need to create an email sequence. So we would go through that. We would go and get all of these. We then go and put this into, because we then have to assess the state change, right? This is the content. I've left this in here. Right. State change is, you look at the before, when you first get a client in, and the after. What has changed? What information, what actions have you got them to actually become a customer? And this is, you build this up when you're doing the content. You basically look at before. So Sam had minimum sales CRM. For him to become a customer, he has got to have basic operations understanding of why you use the sales pipeline, understanding of how you create leads, social business verifications, Trustpilot reviews. These are all things that he has to say or do to become a customer. We look at that, we call that state change. We have actions, added a client to the system, moved a client through the pipeline, completed a test call. And these are things that we are going to integrate into the email sequence that we're going to send them to then make them into a client, right? We have Tom the Technical. He has got a different set. He has API technical knowledge, but for him to become a client, he has to have knowledge of how to integrate the API technical spec, social verification from other devs, actions, watched API tutorial video, carried out basic API testing, done an API assessment, booked onto a consultation call. State change, knowledge. This is for Carla. Case studies of other companies, basic view of the platform, verification from other CEOs, Trustpilot reviews, booked onto a consultation call, signed contract, passed KYC. Can you see the state change, okay? Fred, not as much. He really just basically has to handle the financial sector. And these are the components that we then put into the email sequence that we're going to send. Oh yeah, we also have these two bits. I've just nearly forgot those. Right at the end. And these are 2 pieces of content. You want a webinar that's 20 to 40 minutes for each of those 4 people, which basically comprises of all of the content. It's basically just a sales video, right? And you then have an offer video, which is a sales pitch. Now you've got your content ready, you know exactly how to structure what you've got to show the people. You can now create the email sequences. Typically, you have lead generation. The person that's been sent out to actually get the to start having a look at which SaaS solution they're going to buy is the one that you target for the lead generation. So you could do free consultation, 10-day course, 10-day free sales challenge, something like this. A lead magnet is basically where they give their email address over for something for free. And typically the person who is the end user will jump into that. So that's Sam, the salesperson. All of the other people will end up as part of that when they join the demo. So you have a page free demo on your site, and that's when they then sign up. What I typically do is on the first day I send through 3 emails. One which is the welcome email with all their account information. The second one is a 20 to 40 minute webinar which is just solidly sales, right? And then the next one is I send through a value email, which I'm trying to attempt to get the state change, right, by sending through value-based emails. So like for here, I've sent through a lead generation video, right? And that would be like less than 5 minutes. I'm talking like 2 to 3 minutes. And what I would do is I would send that to Sam and get him to perform an action on the site, right? Because basically I want it that after 2 weeks, he has performed little actions every single day on the site, right? So then when we come to like actually pitch them to get them to buy the SaaS solution, they're actually knowledgeable about how the software works. In the webinar, you would put all of this in there. Because what you have to understand with like 20 to 40 minute webinars, there's only about 10 to 20% of the people that will watch a 20 to 40 minute webinar, right? And so everyone else, you split down into small little groups. You split down into small little, like 2 to 5 minute videos. And then over a 2-week period, you get them to just perform these little actions. So they do the equivalent of the whole webinar, but they just take 2 weeks to do it. But you still send the people that did the webinar the same little videos. Do you kind of see what I mean? Because what you really want is bang, 2 weeks, people have done like loads of tests, they've played around on the website every single day. They're really easy to sell to. So for Sam, you send through lead generation video, then Sam sales. On the next day, you add a client to the system. Then on day 3, move a client down the pipeline. Also on day 3, send through an email, account manager intro. And just asking if they need any help, stuff like that. Day 4, change the status of a lead to a client. Case study ROI, and then do a free consultation email. Hey, do you want a free consultation with us? So you can then get them onto a live, Zoom call, something like this. You can talk to them and show them through the SaaS solution. Then see how I'm incrementally getting him to do little jobs each day. So then how to fill your sales pipeline, but then also send through a follow-up call, how to convert leads. Then on the last day, you want to make them an offer. So you send through an email with a video in there making them an offer. And the same goes for like Tom the Technical, but you're going to send through different style videos because obviously he isn't an end user on the front end, he's an end user on the back end. So you get him to do gradual stuff, but at the same time, you're also trying to get him onto a phone call with a sales consultant so you can then move over. Do you kind of see what I mean? So you send through knowledge-based emails and you make an offer. With Carla, the CEO, continually send through knowledge-based emails, which are really case studies from prior content, because you're really selling, the lifestyle. Hey, this is what we did for someone else. We can do this for you. She isn't an end user, so you're really sitting there. We've worked with clients bigger than you and we've made them a lot of money. Let us take you there. You're going to see how I'm doing that. Then with Fred, the CFO, you send him through knowledge stuff every single day as well. And that is basically how you set up. This is obviously just the email, just for lead generation to conversion into a sale for a SaaS solution. You need actually about 8 different sequences for SaaS solutions. You then need welcome and onboarding, all of these. If this is something that interests you, if you check in the comments, there'll be a link to my free 5-day course. And you can contact me via there as well. Okay, I hope that's helped. But anyway, thank you very much.